Good morning. Welcome to my channel. I'm the impassioned putz, which means I'm a blend of passion and putziness. And regardless of my own blend, I want to say thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful for you. Words cannot express how grateful I am that you're here. So I put together a collection of readings for us today. They are focused on happiness. What is happiness? How do we get there? Is it important? Is it not? And are there any tools that can be offered from the different sources today? If you don't know about me, I love to take information from a bunch of different masters and sources and thought processes to try to bring a new level of understanding to what reality is, what we're doing here, and how we can live a life of serious thriving beyond our wildest dreams, or at least in line with our dreams. And I truly believe that if you're here, you must be asking some of those same questions. And hopefully I can flow through some of the answers because I'm asking those questions too. And I'm doing a lot of research and study to try to bring those answers together. So anyway, if you're into learning more about happiness, here we go. Let's see what they say. I will provide some of my own commentary, my putzy impassioned commentary. So I'm going to start with the Abraham flip book for the day. It says, you are here in this body because you chose to be here. You wanted the opportunity to experience this delicious contrast in time and space. And with great anticipation, you came to co-create with other joy-seeking beings, to fine-tune the process of deliberate thought. What, where, when, and with whom are your choices too? I love that idea that we've gotten to choose where to do life, who to do life with before we came. First master of the day, Mr. Thich, always has good things to say. I'm going to start with his little bit on freedom. The basic condition of happiness is freedom, he says. I find that pretty funny because the emotional scale that I use to track moods, vibrations, and what we attract has freedom up here. Happiness is actually number 3. Freedom is actually at number 1. Go figure. The basic condition of happiness is freedom. If there is something on your mind that you keep thinking about, then you are caught and have no freedom. If you're caught in sorrow and regret about the past, or if you're anxious about what will happen to you in the future, guilt, worry, then you are not really free to enjoy the many wonders of life that are available to you in the here and now. The blue sky, the beautiful trees, the lovely faces of children, the flowers and the birds can nourish and heal us in the present moment. Many people in our society are not happy, even though the conditions for their happiness already exist. We have so much, it's true, so much on the West. That's part of the reason I started this journey to why am I not happy? I have everything I need. And don't get me wrong, I have states of happiness and I have great moods, but I want like a really sustained, consistent vibration and mood of joy, happiness, knowledge, freedom. And I can feel myself taking it away from myself with my thoughts or whatever. And that's why I'm exploring this. And I'm getting more clarity. It's definitely my thoughts. Big part of it. Okay. Many people in our society are not happy, even though the conditions for their happiness already exist. Their habit energy is always pushing them ahead, preventing them from being happy in the here and now. But with a little bit of training, we can all learn to recognize this energy every time it comes up. Habit energy. That would be what Abraham would call, right, my vibrational set point where I have momentum, which I discovered a couple weeks ago was worry, which really is a habit energy of running that he's referencing, right? Pushing me ahead. What do I need to do? I got to be productive, got to get the next thing done, get the most out of my day. And it does steal my joy because I always feel so driven to keep moving and doing versus enjoying my moment. Why wait to be happy? When you walk, it is possible to walk in such a way that every step becomes nourishing and healing. This is not difficult. Whether you're a business person walking across the office, a congressperson walking up the Capitol steps, or a police officer out on the streets, it's always possible to practice mindful walking and to enjoy every step you take. If you know the art of mindful walking, then you will be fully present in the here and now. You make yourself available to life, and life becomes available to you. Present focused. Every one of us has the tendency to run. We have run all of our lives, and we continue to run in the future where we think some happiness may be waiting. The mystical golden nugget. We have received the habit of running from our parents and ancestors. When we learn to recognize our habit of running, we can use mindful breathing and simply smile at this habit and say, hello, my dear old friend. I know you're there. And then you're free from this habit energy. There is only recognition and awareness of what is going on. When the habit energy of running manifests itself, you just smile and come back to your mindful breathing. Then you're free from it. You continue to breathe in, breathe out, and enjoy the present moment. I love that he says that. Acknowledge and then just move on. Don't create resistance by trying to fight it. That gets it to hold in place. Neville, we're on to Neville. If you don't know who Neville is, a pretty cool guy. I didn't know much about him until a few weeks ago, and I'm loving what he says. So anyway, I'm going to open the book. This is a collection of all of his writings. And this is called, most of his books are very small, but this is called Feeling is the Secret. And this got my attention because the secret is something most people are familiar with out there. It has this concept that the way we think and feel creates our reality and attracts things to us. Most people don't know that the secret is actually based on Abraham, Esther, and Jerry Hicks. But for some reason, they took them out of the movie and took a lot of sort of the secret that they will openly give us, and I will read, out of the movie, which is so weird. But a huge part of it is how we feel, which makes sense when you think about the world being vibrational, right? There's sound waves here, there's light waves, everything is vibration. We've established that scientifically. It's my senses that are processing things and sort of turning them into this solid stuff that I see. So obviously the way I feel is going to be how I vibrate. Sometimes I can feel myself vibrating with emotion. So the fact that this guy back in like the 40s and 50s knew that feeling is the secret got my attention. So let's see what he has to say about the nature of reality and happiness today. So chapter 1, Law and its Operation. The world and all within it is man's conditioned consciousness objectified. Consciousness is the cause as well as the substance of the entire world. So I guess rather than vibration, he calls it consciousness. So it is consciousness that we must turn to if we would discover the secret of creation. Knowledge of the law of consciousness and the method of operating this law will enable you to accomplish all you desire in life. Q. Armed with the working knowledge of this law, you can build and maintain an ideal world. Consciousness is the one and only reality, not figuratively, but actually. This reality may, for the sake of clarity, be likened unto a stream which is divided into two parts. The conscious and the subconscious. It's so funny. No matter what thought process you study, there's two parts of us. There's like the physically focused and non-physical portion, according to Abraham. There's the ego and the Holy Spirit, according to the Course in Miracles, right? Buddhism also has the ego and then your spiritual portion, which I can't think of the name of right now. But this has conscious and subconscious. I'm going to guess that the conscious portion is the physical part and the subconscious is like the spiritual part. But it's key to notice that almost all of these thought processes that I'm studying have two components. Alan Watts talks about the ego self all the time. And there has to be some truth to that if we find it in so many different locations. Neville's interesting because his base is like Alan. Watts is more Taoist and Buddhist. And also, he was an Episcopalian priest as well. So he has a lot of knowledge about the Bible too. But Neville is very specifically biblically based, but viewing the Bible as sort of a journey of the metaphysical, of the mind, rather than a literal text. And I really appreciate his perspective. I was raised very strict Christian by literal Bible Christians. And while there's nothing wrong with that, I didn't find that it brought them the joy and freedom and elevation of life that I think is possible through spiritual study and perhaps the Bible, certainly according to Neville. Okay, where was I? Okay. So it's going to be two parts, conscious and subconscious. In order to intelligently operate the law of consciousness, it's necessary to understand the relationship between these two parts. The conscious is personal and selective. The subconscious is impersonal and non-selective. The conscious is the realm of effect, so physical. The subconscious is the realm of cause, spiritual. These two aspects, those are my words, by the way. These two aspects are the male and female divisions of consciousness. Interesting. The conscious is male, the subconscious is female. New take. The conscious generates ideas and impresses these ideas on the subconscious. The subconscious receives ideas and gives form and expression to them. By this law, first conceiving an idea, and then impressing the idea conceived on the subconscious, all things evolve out of consciousness. And without this sequence, there is not anything made that is made. This is exactly how Abraham describes the process, only it's coming between your physically focused portion and your inner being, or your non-physically focused portion. So this is pretty wicked. The conscious impresses the subconscious, while the subconscious expresses all that is impressed upon it. The subconscious does not originate ideas, but accepts as true those which the conscious mind feels to be true, and in a way known only to itself, objectifies the accepted ideas. Therefore, through his power to imagine and feel, and his freedom to choose the idea he will entertain, man has control over creation. There you go. The thoughts I have cause me to feel and create my reality. Control of the subconscious is accomplished through control of your ideas and feelings. The mechanism of creation is hidden in the very depth of the subconscious, the female aspect or womb of creation. Wow. And then it just goes into a little bit of details. One thing that I do love here is he goes into the biblical formatting of this. So I'm going to share this because I found this really interesting. St. Paul personified it as a woman and said the woman should be subject to man in everything. And I remember as a kid studying that line and being like, that's so offensive when it's taken literally. I didn't believe that God would say that. But if you take it as the woman is the subconscious, should be subject to man in everything, then it says here the subconscious does serve man and faithfully give form to his feelings. The husband is the head of the wife may not be true of man and woman in their earthly relationship, but it is true of the conscious and the subconscious, or the male and female aspects of consciousness. The mystery to which Paul referred when he wrote, "This is a great mystery, he that loveth his wife loveth himself, and they two shall be one flesh," is simply the mystery of consciousness. Consciousness is really one and undivided, but for creation's sake, it appears to be divided in two. I find that fascinating, reframing the type of phrasing rather than it being about, men dominating women, and it being about this relationship to two parts of your consciousness makes it so much more powerful, doesn't it? Palatable, interesting. I just love that. Because creation is the result of subconscious impressions, you, by your own feeling, determine creation. You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it. So, in other words, we're all exactly what we think we are. That's what's showing up. So you have to change your concept of yourself and what you deserve and who you are in order to have something different show up. So denying the evidence of the senses and appropriating the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the way to the realization of your desire. Mastery of self-control of your thoughts and feelings is your highest achievement. However, until perfect self-control is attained, so that in spite of appearances you feel all that you want to feel, use sleep and prayer to aid you in realizing your desire states. These are two gateways into the subconscious. So prayer for him is meditation. And sleep, I haven't read what he says about sleep, but I'm excited to see. And I do appreciate, he says here, mastery of self-control of your thoughts and feelings is your highest achievement. Yeah, I'm beating myself up for not being able to master it in 30 days. So maybe that's a bit excessive. If it's my highest achievement, it's probably going to take me more than a month. Not that I've been working on this stuff just for a month, but All right, so the reading's a little long today, but I'm going to keep going. I got just the Tao de Ching. I always love it. It's simple. It's sort of cryptic. It'll be a nice break or a nice bridge between this and the next reading. It says to be equal to the Tao. Nature speaks rarely. A stormy wind cannot blow for the whole morning. A passing heavy shower cannot fall for the whole day. Even heaven and earth cannot show their sudden power forever, much less can men. Hard to get that self-control of our feelings, isn't it? That is the reason why one who follows the Tao accords the Tao with the Tao, accords the virtue with the virtue, and accords the loss with the loss. He who accords the Tao is gladly accepted by the Tao. He who accords with virtue is gladly accepted by the virtue, and he who accords with the loss is gladly accepted by the loss. I'm going to go with the Taoist principle. Tao is the subconscious. It's the non-physical or creative portion of all that is. So it's saying whatever you put out, loss, virtue, Tao, it's going to respond in kind. When there isn't enough faith from he who leads the people who follow him will not have good faith. Wow. When there isn't enough faith from he who leads the people who follow him will not have good faith. All right. Let's have good faith in the subconscious creative portion of ourselves. Next up, the strangest secret. I'm just going to take a little blip from this. This is Earl Nightingale. Awesome to listen to if you can. It's on YouTube. He's got great stuff too. A little bit more practical, a little more like Alan Watts with the practicality, and that's fantastic on how just your attitudes create what you receive. And it's really easy from a more less metaphysical, basic place to see that our attitudes create our reality too, right? You treat people like crap, they'll treat you like crap. You treat people with respect, they'll treat you with respect. And so he's all about how you sort of get everything that you want too. It's a similar concept, but a little more grounded? I don't know. A little less spiritual, I'll guess, even though he gets into that in some of his stuff. So it says, the moment you decide on a goal to work toward, you're immediately a successful person. You are then in that rare and successful category of people who know where they're going. Out of every 100 people, you belong in the top 5. He got into this because he was analyzing why do some people get so successful and some aren't. And so he's all about being part of the 5%. He's like, really, it's about 5% of people that like hit that super thriving, successful spot. Don't concern yourself too much with how you're going to achieve your goal. Leave that completely to a power greater than yourself. Your subconscious. All you have to know is where you're going. The answers will come to you of their own accord and at the right time. Remember these words from the Sermon on the Mount, and remember them well. Keep them constantly before you this month of your test. He has a 30-day test too, which I found hilarious. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth. And to him that knocketh, it shall be opened. I think I just said he was less spiritual. And I was saying something from the Bible, so scratch that. Remember, I'm a putz. It's as marvelous and as simple as that. In fact, it's so simple that in our seemingly complicated world, it's difficult for an adult to understand that all they need is purpose and faith. Feelings, thoughts, and feelings. Purpose and faith. And lastly, I thought, how hilarious to go from a Sermon on the Mount quote, ask and it is given to you, then the book, Ask and it is given by Abraham and Esther Hicks, okay? Which is literally written about ask and it is given to you. So it says, this is from chapter 21, you're only 17 seconds away from 68 seconds till fulfillment. We're gonna get a little literal with it here. With only a few seconds of focusing your attention on a subject, you activate the vibration of that subject within you, and immediately the law of attraction begins to respond to that activation. So that would be the subconscious, according to Neville. Here is going to be, well, your inner being is really what he's speaking about, your subconscious, but it's also the law of attraction. The longer you keep your attention focused on something, the easier it will become for you to continue to focus upon it, because you're attracting, through the law of attraction, other thoughts or vibrations that are the essence of the thought you began with. I guess I should say your inner being is your non-physically focused you. The law of attraction is like gravity, or the law of assumption that Neville would call it, which is basically what you vibrate out comes back to you. So your inner being is going to guide you where you should go, but the more you can focus on positive thoughts, that's what this is talking about, the exact amount of time you need to focus, the faster you're going to get what your inner being has queued up for you, or your subconscious, that's good, because you're focused on the good stuff. This also works with the bad, so don't focus this long on bad stuff, because the law of attraction will bring that to you too. That isn't designed by your inner being, but it's up to you what you want to draw to you. Within 17 seconds of focusing on something, a matching vibration becomes activated. And now, as that focus becomes stronger and the vibration becomes clearer, the law of attraction will bring to you more thoughts that match. At this point, the vibration will not have much attraction power, but if you maintain your focus longer, the power of the vibration will become far further reaching. And if you manage to stay purely focused upon any thought for as little as 68 seconds, the vibration is powerful enough that its manifestation begins. When you repeatedly return to a pure thought, maintaining it for at least 68 seconds, in a short period of time, hours in some cases, or a few days in others, that thought becomes a dominant thought. And once you achieve a dominant thought, you will experience matching manifestations until you change it. Remember that the thoughts you think equal your point of attraction. You get what you think about, whether you want it or not. Your thoughts equal vibration, and that vibration is then answered by the law of attraction. As your vibration expands and becomes more powerful, it eventually becomes powerful enough for manifestation to occur. In other words, what you think and therefore feel and what manifests in your experience is always a vibrational match. We're going to add a little disclaimer here because I can get a little freaky, and Abraham is always so kind. So adds a little caveat here: your uncontrollable thoughts are not to be feared. Okay, so it's saying, once people realize this is true, they get really freaked out about their uncontrollable thoughts that are sometimes negative. And it says, but there's no reason to worry about your thoughts, for they're not like a loaded gun that may wreak powerful and instantaneous destruction. For although the law of attraction is powerful, the basis of your experience is that of well-being. So your inner being is always focused on the good stuff. So even if you're thinking bad stuff, it takes longer to attract and manifest there because your inner being is a very powerful component of you and always focused on the good stuff. That's why when you align with the good stuff, it'll come even faster. So even though your thoughts are magnetic and expand with your attention, you have plenty of time, as soon as you become aware of any negative feelings, to begin to choose other less resistance thoughts and thereby choose a more desired outcome. Remember, you can allow it or resist it in varying degrees, but the stream of well-being always flows. So even a small effort made toward choosing a better feeling thought will net you obvious results. And once you've taken that step and you do find that better feeling thought, you've given yourself the conscious freedom to go from wherever you are on any topic to anywhere you want to be. Once you deliberately choose a thought and consciously feel the improvement in the way you feel, you've successfully utilized your own guidance system, and you can now be on your way to the freedom that you desire and deserve, for there's nothing you cannot be, do, or have. Yippee skippy, am I right? Yippee, yippee skippy. All right, well, that's a bit of a long one today, but it just felt right. So I hope if you're still here with me, for one, thank you so much. I appreciate you more than words can say. And I hope you got something out of that. I know I did. And remember, we're doing this together. This isn't a solo journey. So thank you so much for being here. I wish you love and light in all you do. Till the next time.